Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is the D day or the decision day. Today is Wednesday, 18th September 2024. All eyes on the market are actually going to be looking at what's going to happen tonight when the Fed finally takes a decision after 2.5 years of having tight money supply, whether they will reduce interest rates. That's a given. How much will they reduce is the question. So today, for all practical purposes, there will be a lot of anticipated nervousness, like yesterday it was. So let's go back and see what happened yesterday. So the question to the Fed is to do or not to do. Now, what is that to do or not to do is whether they will come with 25 basis points or whether they'll come with 50 basis points. That is what I think the whole world is looking at. Rate cut is a given. How much is the question? So what happened yesterday? Of course, when I say markets today, it's yesterday. I picked it up from ET now. So yesterday, as expected, Nifty traded in a range, and the Bank Nifty also tried to show some strength, but it gave up at the end. And today also, I'm expecting something like that. The gainers were two-wheelers, Hero Moto and Bajaj Auto. NTPC went up because of the upcoming IPO. Losers were the four-wheelers, Tata Motors, Eicher Motors. Tata Steel, surprisingly, was a loser, and Adani Ports for reasons best known to the market. Small cap snapped its three-day rally. It closed down 0.4%, and mid cap closed flat. Again, both of them, small and mid cap, had a three-day rally. They snapped it yesterday. Realty was the top sectoral gainer. If you observe, this market is rotating between different sectors. So yesterday it was the turn of the realty. PSU Bank was the biggest loser. PNB and IOB dragged it down. FMCG closed in green, though ITC did not do too well, mainly led by Lever. I think FMCG closed in the green. They were led by actually Varun Beverages and Radico Khaitan. Yesterday, liquor companies went up. So metal declined. NMDC and Hindustan Copper were the top losers. This is how the intraday movement was. This is a 5-minute chart of Nifty. It came down in the beginning, then it tried to show promise, and at the end it closed neither here nor there. And this was Bank Nifty. It showed greater promise than Nifty, but in the last 15 minutes it came down, probably because of the private bank index, the weekly settlement. So what did the FIs and DIs do? FIs bought about 480 crores, DIs 874 crores. So in the last 5 days, FIs are bought on 4 of 5 days. So the market is finding a floor independent of what the Fed will do. So which were the stocks which went all-time high? Trend continues to defy gravity. I would be very careful here. Marico, United Spirits, and the Info Edge were the others. As I said, booze was the order of the day yesterday, so those went up. What happened in the global equities? Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and S&P opened very strongly, but they actually Dow Jones fell during the session, but closed flat. S&P and Nasdaq also did the same thing. The European markets were a little bit better because the US futures were better when and the first half of the US trading, the markets were buoyant, so Europe closed on a better note. Commodities, what they did, Brent has actually gone up from 68, 69 to about 73, strong, but as of yesterday evening, vis-a-vis day for yesterday, is slightly lower. Gold continues to make all-time highs. Silver is now getting up like any good teenager and will actually do the dance. Copper, zinc, and aluminum were just there. So yesterday WPI data came. This is no longer that relevant, but still, for whatever it is worth for policymakers, they look at WPI also at the wholesale level. The inflation rate is just 1.31, which augurs well for the RBI, or at least it gives an excuse for RBI to look at reducing interest rates. I believe that they will reduce it because globally all central bankers are reducing, excepting Japan. Then what are the opinion pieces? MSCI emerging market strategy, they talk of India has displaced China as the largest MSCI EM market. And so that is very good, because you see now more and more flows will come, because the weightage of MSCI, India in MSCI index will increase. So it is a virtuous cycle which has begun some time ago, and now it is taking shape. So sooner or later, you will have passive funds putting money into India, though active funds are getting out of India more often than not. So that is as far as the, now India is the sixth largest market globally, just behind France. I think will soon beat France, because India is gaining more prominence because of the inherent fundamentals or relative fundamentals. So they remain overweight India. They continue to remain overweight India, and so that is on GDP. They're talking of something the low teens, which is more than 3x of China. So we are the fastest growing economy as far as the MSCI is concerned. So that is what MSCI says. Then yesterday the trade deficit numbers came. There was a huge increase in the trade deficit, mainly because of the gold. And so Goldman Sachs talk of Bank of America talks about it. Nomura talks about it. So they know that the trade deficit has gone up primarily because of gold, and also exports have not been that good. That is a concern for any fundamental analyst, that markets are going up and markets are expecting better things, but ground reality is something different. But liquidity drives the markets finally. So in this last stage, as per my analysis, this is the last stage where markets may shoot up, but the fundamentals may still lag. So that is as far as the trade deficit is concerned. But Bank of America is hopeful that going into the India's festive season, they expect the services surplus to grow, tourism inflows to increase, because generally November, March is the tourist season in India. So what do we look for today? We look for the US Fed Reserve policy. That is the event of the day. Of course, as I said, it will come after we close, so only we will know tomorrow. Tomorrow certainly we will gap, whether we gap up or gap down, we don't know. It depends on positioning. And a 500-point move will not surprise me on either side, or a 200-point will not surprise me, or the next 3 days a 1,000-point move on the Nifty will not surprise me. So nothing will surprise us as far as the move is concerned, because a lot of positioning has happened. We do not know who is where, but large positioning is there. Though most people are, the retail is a little bit concerned, so they may close their positions, but the big boys have taken strong positioning. So at the end of the day, the Fed has this challenge. It does not matter how slowly you go, so long as you do not stop. That is what I believe Fed will do. Whether they do 25 or 50 is just an academic discussion. So there could be a move up and down. Volatility may increase with 25, or it may increase much more with 50. But I don't think that is one and done, which means the Fed will continue to reduce interest rates as time goes by, because as far as their way of calculating inflation is concerned, the inflation is dropping to their target of 2%. It is not necessary that real inflation is dropping, but nevertheless, the Fed inflation, what they calculate, is dropping. So in such a case, I expect them to continue to reduce interest rates as time goes by. What are we doing? Today we'll be very cautious, and we will take less positions and await the Fed decision later in the night. Nothing alarming can happen. Markets are there tomorrow. It is not that they will close down if there is a 25 or a 50 basis point. Prudence demands that we should have lower position and less position, even for intraday, because nothing may come out of it today, because everybody is looking towards Fed. So we are inherently bullish. We are fully invested. We have about 5% in cash, but generally we are focused on buying on BTFT, as my definition of BTFT is buy today for Deepavali. So whatever you do, I hope you are successful. This is Vijay here, signing off. Please note that I am not a SEBI registered advisor. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day today.